Guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Paul from Vintage Sports Card Finds, and today we're doing a little bit of a video that was unanticipated. I was over at the flea market today, and I got a call from a guy who was at a show who needed some help buying some vintage. And he says this guy brought in a bunch of vintage. There's a 54 Mickey Mantle that he's selling, and of course this guy wanted to buy it. But he says he's got some other stuff that I'm not interested in. If you want, you can come check it out. So I did. I got over there and I explained everything to both parties, and they sort of made their decision on what they were going to do. And then the dealer who was interested in purchasing the mantle said, if you want to make an offer on the other stuff, you can. So I did. Let's start with that. So the guy brought in a bunch of 54 Bowman. Again, the big card was a Mickey Mantle, but I was not involved in that deal except for explaining some of the particulars to them. But I did pick up a nice lot of 52 Bowmans, and I'm going to take you through that now. So let's see what we got here. And there was a big card I picked up during this. Let me see if I can do the best way to do this. So you got this one here, which is the Cal Ripken. There was some nice cards in this lot, in this grouping. I've already put it in order. See, after this video, I'll check out what I need. Walt Evers. They were in fairly nice shape for 54 Bowman. There was some cards. Now, when I took these cards, they were in like holders. They were in like those 8-pocket page holders. I took them out of there and I put them in these top loaders. And you can see there's some creasing on these cards that isn't quite like violent creasing, but some of them do go all the way through. So this was the first big one, Ralph Kiner. I thought that was a nice card there. It's in pretty good shape. Nice one. And all the cards except one. There was one duplicate, and I didn't notice it at the time. I thought they were all different, but it's all right. Here's a Hoyt Wilhelm. Just another nice one. Card number 57. And as you can see, they're pretty clean. Like there's a couple that are, see, you can see sort of some creasing there. But overall, pretty clean cards. Eddie Matthews, this is one of them that did have the crease. And so in the grand scheme of things, there were about 32 of these cards. So I've probably paid around $8 a card in what I paid for this. Jim Gilliam. So, and like I said, I've said before on the channel, anytime I can pick up Joe Nuxall, this card is interesting. Every time I hear Joe Nuxall's name, I think of that Married with Children episode in which Al Bundy is trying to leave all his worldly possessions to his son Bud, and he keeps talking about his Joe Nuxall card, which was the one card he had. So it was a Bob Rush. So there were some nice cards in here. They were in pretty nice condition. Anytime I can pick up a nice lot of early 50s or mid 50s cards, I'm going to take the opportunity to do it. You just don't see them enough. You don't see them enough in this condition, that's for sure. And so, Billy Goodman. So I'm always going to try to pick up lots like this because they're a good deal. Obviously, I would have probably paid I would have paid more for the mantle than the guy who ended up buying the mantle paid. However, that being said, it's not my place to step on his toes. It was his deal. I only made an offer on these cards. Ellis Kinder. So this is a nice card right here, especially from a Boston perspective. And this was the big one out of the 54s. So Don Larsen. This is really nice too. Don Larsen rookie. So this is a beauty. I didn't see any creasing that extended to the back. So I was thrilled to get this card. And this card averages around, somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 raw, 50, 60, maybe even a little more raw. And so because I was buying in bulk, I was able to get a pretty good deal on all of these cards. And so the Larsen's probably the best of this grouping that I ended up with. But as I was saying about the mantle, I mean, I'm not going to step on anybody's toes, right? It's this guy's deal. The only reason I'm going to make the offer was because he said, I'm not interested in any of that. I don't know who these guys are. So if you want to make that offer, feel free. So Del Ennis, I did make the deal at the show. I gave the guy a price, and he knew where I was at the flea market. So he said, I'll go meet you there, and we'll finish the transaction. And he told me he had some other stuff, but I was really focused on the 54 Bowman. But when he did get there over to the flea market, I ended up making a deal for some more stuff. This was probably the second best card in the lot, and you can see the crease that sort of sits there. It makes its way a little bit on the back, but Whitey Ford. So this was the nice one. I was really pleased to get this one. This one probably is around a $30 to $40 card. It might be a little bit better if it was in a little bit better shape, just a hair better, but not bad for sure. Steve Lapata? Stan Lapata, sorry. I mean, so when I was asked to look at these cards, I mean, there's only a handful of players from the 50s that, really stick out to me. And so Whitey Ford, Gilliam, Don Larsen, and a couple others, obviously, Ellis Kinder. But there were Ralph Kiner. There were a few Hoyt Wilhelm, those types of guys. Ralph Kiner. So those and Eddie Matthews. I showed this card, but I think I might have flipped through it a little bit quick. So that's the Eddie Matthews. So it was a pretty good score in terms of the 54 Bowman. But as I said, once the fella came over to the flea market, he showed me some other stuff that he had for sale, and I was able to pick this up. This is an 82 Topps Traded set. Always will look and be consider buying this if the price is right, and the price was right. So I purchased that. And obviously what came in it was the Cal Ripken. I pulled this out to give everybody a better look. Off center, top to bottom. But other than that, very strong condition card. Little bit of a whiting, just a hair of whiting on the corners, but nothing that would stick out like a sore thumb. So this is a really, really nice example. I'm actually going to compare this to the one I have. I think mine might be a little bit better centered, so I think I'm going to end up keeping mine. But when I resell this set, I will be posting that tonight. I'm thinking I'm going to post that tonight, and I'm going to sell this set tonight. I'll put it on eBay tonight anyway. And so check out, if you're interested, check out the eBay link in the description below. So that was the Cal Ripken rookie. And then I picked up this card. Now, this is a Wade Boggs rookie, but it's a signed Wade, excuse me, it's a signed Wade Boggs rookie, and this is going to be real nice for my binder. Again, off center, just a hair of a touch on the corners, but nothing overly dramatic at all. And then, of course, the Wade Boggs signature. So I was like, I'll do it. So I picked this up for $10, and I was happy with that. The guy said he got his signature at the Providence Civic Center. The Wade Boggs signature matches up pretty well, so I believe him. And so that was a nice pickup as well. And as far as Red Sox history goes, I've never seen this card. Okay, so this is a TCMA 1984 Pawtucket Red Sox Roger Clemens card. So I had never seen this card before. Yeah, I've never come across this card before in my going on 40 years of collecting cards. And I, at first I went through, he had these little stacks of things that were like, little boxes of cards that, those little plastic boxes that hold 25 or 50 cards. And I went through them, and most of it was like this type of stuff, but not autographed, just like 83, 84, lots of 90s stuff. And I was like, so I flipped through it real quick, and I didn't really pay attention. He brought that stuff back to the flea market when he came over to redo the rest of the deal. And, the second time I really sort of went through, and I saw this card, and I'm like, I've never seen this card before. Let me look into it. And so I did. I comped it out, and it was, this card raw sells for like $40. And, I made him an offer on it. I said, look, some are selling in the 30s, some are selling in the 40s, some are selling a little bit more. This set sells pretty well for maybe $150. So I was like, you know what? Since it was just the one card, and it did have a little bit of a diamond cut to it, I was like, listen, I'll do $20 on it if you want to do that. And he did. And so we were good. So in total, I spent with the guy almost $400 for a variety of stuff. 20 on this, 10 on that. There's 30. So about $370 total. Like I said, it worked out to about $8 a card on the Bowmans. But I love this card. This is a beautiful card. Now, I didn't want to complete the story by telling a little story. The man who was selling this stuff had saved it for his son. It's an older gentleman. He had saved it for his son, and I don't know how long ago, but his son recently passed away of a heart problem. He was 52 years old, and I really kind of connected with the man because I've had some loss over the last year and a half in my family. Two members of my family passed away, and I could see the hurt on the man's face, and I just, tried to reassure him. And as far as the cards went, I wanted him to know that, these cards were going to end up in good hands. So just for, the sake of this video, and the man doesn't watch the channel or anything. As far as I know, I don't even know that he knows it exists. But this Pawtucket Red Sox card and the Wade Boggs signature card are going into my Red Sox binder. They're going into my PC. The bulk of these 54 Bowman, I don't have a lot of 54 Bowman. They're going into the PC. The only thing I'm going to sell, and I explained to him that was the case, was this 82 Topps traded set. And I know the person who buys the 82 Topps traded set also uh, will take care of it. I'm sure of it because, it's somebody who would want to own a really cool piece of 1980s baseball card history. So these cards, in a way, I was like, this is going to somebody who is going to appreciate it. And he took some comfort in that, and that was good because, like I said, I've experienced some loss this year, and it certainly has been a difficult year and a half. And so I don't know. I just sort of connected with the man, and he said, "Hey, I really appreciate what you've done. You were very helpful this afternoon, even with the deal on the mantle." And so he told me he had some other cards, and at some point he will bring them in for me to look at. And it just goes to show that really all you want to do is treat people with kindness and respect, empathy, and all of those things that are important. I think it's one of the things that's really, in a large degree, even better today in this card community than it was back in the day, in the 90s especially, when it was kind of like dog eat dog world, if you will. So that's the mushy part of what I had to say. I really feel, I just sort of connected with the man in that sense because I know what he's going through. And I know not in the sense of losing a son, because, I didn't have that happen, but losing my sister and my mom, it's been tough. And I know that it wears on you. And, in a small way, if I was able to help him, I'm glad I was able to do so. And pick up some great cards that I'm truly going to enjoy. They're going to be part of my PC. And I know I've rambled on now. I'm sorry, but I felt like I had to say that because I thought it was an important part of this story. And quite frankly, card collecting is a collection of stories. It's collecting stories of great deals we made or interesting people we meet along the way, and I think that that's important. So I won't bore you anymore, but I really want to thank you guys so much for watching. I want to thank you for all the support that you show for the channel. And if you enjoy the content, please comment, share, like, subscribe. It's much appreciated. Certainly helps the channel. And as always, guys, happy hunting. Thanks.